Boom! What's up? Happy Friday. Welcome to this IG Live. Hope you guys are having a good week. Hope you guys are having some exciting plans this weekend. I'm going hiking this weekend, so I'm super excited for that. Today's episode of the podcast or the IG Live is talking about leading by example. I've always been taught to be a leader, not a follower. I've always been on teams. I've been team captains. Just in general, in my life, I've always been taught to trailblaze. Right? I'm from Portland. We got the Trailblazers. To make sure that I'm leading by example, and I do this in a handful of different ways that I see fit in order to follow through with what I say I'm gonna do. And so let me invite everybody to make sure they know to check in and see what we got going on. Again, I hope you guys had a good week and you're really excited that it's Friday now. If you haven't already, follow the podcast, Beast vs. Zombie. Very simple, all one word, Beast vs. Zombie. Follow the YouTube. Follow all that. Subscribe, comment, reach out to me if you guys have any suggestions, anything that you would want to see on the podcast that you might have not seen before. I'm always open to hearing new suggestions, new ideas, and ways to make it better than it already is. So let's get right into it. Leading by example. When I say leading by example, right, that is doing the right thing right when nobody's watching. Right? That's keeping the promises that you keep to yourself. Who tried to add himself by accident. But keeping the promises that you make to yourself, right? Not lying to yourself, being real with yourself, being real with other people. Oh, here he is right here. What's up?
Hey, what's going on, man? Hey, I'm proud of you, man. Look at you, bro.
So lead by example, man. We talking about leading by example. I'm sure you feel this too. Man, the biggest thing for leading by example for me is it creates an example for everybody that's watching. You don't know who is watching. You don't know who's paying attention to you, who's following you on Instagram, on Facebook, who you don't know what little kid has seen your video on YouTube, on social media platforms. You don't know what coworker at work believes in you and thinks about you. And so, right, it's your job to lead by example, to inspire those people and show those people like the way to go about things, right? And there, I believe life is black and white, right? I believe there's a right way to do things, there's a wrong way to do things. It's very clear. You all know if you're in a situation, this doesn't feel like the right thing to do, or like, maybe we should do this for this, that, and the other, right? And so when I'm talking about leading by example, man, I especially I take this into consideration when I was going through cancer. And I wanted to make sure I was leading by example with my attitude so that everybody else around me could feel confident in what I had going on. So that everybody else could give me that energy, right? Because I'm going through cancer. I'm battling this thing, this unknown thing, right? I still can't even tell you, I got cancer, right? But I beat it. And a lot of that I can tell you is from my attitude, my positive attitude. And by me being positive, my uncle, that's right here, sees that I'm positive. He feels good that I'm confident in my results, that I'm confident in my plan, that I'm confident in what we have going on, right? And that was a big deal, right? You're at war. You need all the energy that you can get. You need your parents to feel good. You need your cousins to feel good, your friends and family. You don't need to be down. And it's tough. It's really tough going through a situation like that to always stay positive, to lead by example with your attitude and to feel confident in what you're doing. So that is a really big example that I've had in my life when I've been able to lead by example, and I know it definitely helped me. Other areas where I try to lead by example, for instance, is everything. I live with my nephew Caden here, and I try to do things like make my bed, clean my room, do the dishes, right? All these things I can do to show him how to be and do things the right way, right? So that because it rubs off. Regardless, and I can never tell him to do this, that, and the other if I'm not doing it, right? I can't tell him, hey, bro, you gotta get up, you gotta go work out. You need to bust your ass, you need to go work harder, right? If I'm not working hard, right? That's me leading by example. And so there's all kinds of ways you can lead by example. When I when I think about this
Okay.
country, I'm a black guy, right? And we have to deal with
No.
uh, people looking at us a certain way, right? And so I don't necessarily choose to go out when there's all types of civil issues going on, right? I don't choose to go out and protest and on the front line. What I choose to do is lead by example and show people that I'm not just a statistic, that I'm not just a normal black guy, right? Like I have a standard, right? I can do things at a certain level just like anybody else. So those are all kinds of ways in your life that you can lead by example. Lead by example at your job, right? And showing up on time, doing quality work, setting a standard. I think one of the biggest things in leading by example is not being afraid to go hard, not being scared to and like not being too cool for school, right? Like holding yourself to the standard that you believe in, that you know is right, and sticking to that standard, right? Regardless of all outside um influences, right? Your friends, your family, your cousins, your uncles, your aunts, your coworkers, your boss, right? You should have this standard of yourself at a certain level, whatever that level is. Not everybody holds themselves to the same standard, right? I try to hold myself to as high of a standard as I can in everything I do in my life, right? Because how you do one thing is how you do all things, right? So I'm trying to hold myself to this high standard, and I don't let anybody or anything influence that standard I hold myself to, right? You're in class, everybody's goofing off, right? You're in school, you're in college, right? No, I pay attention. I'm trying to get an A. I don't care what everybody else is doing. I don't care if it's cool and I don't look cool because I'm holding myself to my standard, right? That's leading by example. That's respectable, right? And so leading by example is really important in life, just in general, for everybody that's watching you, everybody that's in your life, and for the people that aren't in your life. It's important to lead by example to make this world a better place. So hold yourself to a standard, to stick to that standard, stick to your guns, and really go hard at that, right? Because again, like I said, how you do one thing is how you do all things. And if you know, you're doing it when everybody's watching, you're practicing hard, you're going hard, and then everybody leaves, and you're no longer going hard, right? You're not as hard on yourself, right? You're not putting in a little bit of you're not putting in that extra work, then you're probably just going to be like everybody else, right? You're probably going to end up being a follower. You're going to try to follow some people that are doing something that looks cool because, right? What's that quote? They say if what what is it? If you don't stand for something, you'll fall for everything, right? So you have to stick to your guns. You have to lead by example in your life and in this world to not only help the people that are in your life, but help just your community be better. That's what the whole world needs you to do in order to make this world a better place. So lead by example. If you haven't already, follow the podcast, Beast vs. Zombie. I'm going to drop it in the comments right here. Follow the podcast, man. Lead by example. Updates on me and my cancer journey. I got a scan. I probably told you guys this last week, but I got a scan a couple of weeks ago. Everything's looking clear. I'm 2 years into remission. I'm getting stronger again. I'm super healthy. I'm super excited about everything that's going on. Again, follow the podcast, like this video, follow me, subscribe to the podcast on YouTube. Lead by example, guys. Be a beast. All right, Jay. I'll see you later.
Hey, hey,
I'll
hey,
hit
hey,
you up.
man. Hey, I'm so proud of what you just said, man, because facts over fiction, a lot of people don't hold themselves accountable.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
got to hold yourself accountable, man. And that's a really big deal. You need people in your life to hold you accountable, but the biggest thing is you have to hold yourself accountable, man, because nobody is going to do it for you. Nobody's going to hold your hand. Like nobody can do it for you because they got to do it for themselves.
But you know what?
You know what I'm saying?
But if you know, like me and my dad, and your dad and my dad, when we all work together, we try and be the best example for those around us to uplift their lives too, because everybody's going through something.
Everybody always is going through something. You don't know what people are going through. You have
Yeah.
no
It
idea.
only, it only takes 5 minutes just to have a little conversation.
Yep. And to lead by example, to work
Yeah.
hard in all aspects of your life. Man,
All I can,
thanks.
I'm gonna leave you. I'm gonna leave you with this, nephew. You keep being the best physical manifestation of life that you can be,
Yeah, yeah.
and by you doing that for you, you're doing it, giving everybody else hope.
Man, I hope so. I
Oh,
hope so.
hey,
That.
it's not a hope so, it's I know so.
Hey. All right. But I'm
Hey,
gonna get
love
out of
you.
here. I gotta get out of here. I love you too. Y'all stay up. Be a beast.
Yes, that's right. Yes, sir.